Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness, aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right. Hey, guess what? It's 7 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benskop. We're going to rock and roll. We got lots of things. We're going to let you know what's happening in Guyana. And if possible, maybe anything outside of Guyana. In the UK, we know that Irfan Ali was there. He didn't know how to dress, but those are irrelevant things. At times, we may just mention it in passing, just for a little humor, laugh at him, and that's it. But we have far more important things to talk about, and we see bits and pieces of distractions, right? If you know what I mean. We see bits and pieces of the distractions, and we do not want to be distracted. We are not going to allow ourselves to be distracted at all. All right, so as we saddle up and prepare for tonight's program, do the thing and share the link. And if anybody else is watching anything else, stop them. Say, hey, come on. We have tons and tons of information for you. We're seeing lots and lots of new listeners, viewers. Welcome to Straight Up. This is a platform where we behave ourselves, right? And whenever an individual comes on this platform and want to divert attention, they are thrown in the trench. They are called trench crappos. Simple as that. Trench crappos. And we know they have others who are very sympathetic to the trench crappos, and the trench crappos are sympathetic towards them. They're peeping. So all of them are peeping. It's good to peep and let them peep. Good evening to all of you, every single one of you. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Look, let's begin with. I have a problem with this headline, which says, first of all, I have a problem with addressing or describing the PPPC regime as a government. They're not a government. It's not a government right now in Guyana. It's an installed corrupt regime. Story done. It's an installed, corrupt regime. That is what they are, nothing more, nothing less, until we head to the polls and they are defeated. They are kicked out of office by you, the voters. Now, the headline says, and of course it's coming from their propaganda, you want to call the media house. Government, it says, government withdraws another 41.6 billion dollars from our oil fund. 41.6 billion dollars. No accountability, nothing at all. You don't know where this money is going, and they are going to use it. A lot they are going to use to buy votes. I want to whisper this so all of you can hear it loud and clear. They are going to use a heck of a lot of this money that they have stolen, your tax dollars, from the oil fund. They have stolen it, and they will go around the country. Watch, and they are going to start distributing funds. They are going to give to the sugar harvesters. Just watch them. They're going to give the sugar harvesters about a good $3 billion. They're going to subsidize rice farmers. They are going to give other little stuff to some other folks that, of course, they want to buy votes, because that is what it is about. That is what it is about. Buying votes. Nothing more, nothing less. Buying votes. Comrades. You know, the Guyanese, they love to say comrades, because that's what it is. And the $41.6 billion is not going to be used for anything proper for you guys. No, it's not. So the headline should read, installed PPP regime headed by this vagabond, and you know who this vagabond is. Not Air Finale. Air Finale is only the guy who goes around and take photographs and pretend as though he is what he's actually not. But this vagabond is actually the guy that is stealing our money. This criminal is the guy who is actually stealing our money. And that's what they're doing. Hey, again, good evening to all of you. We have lots of things we want to be able to discuss. But before we get into that, let me welcome all of you to 107.1 FM. We have lots of things. And you notice I just changed the voice, the radio voice, at 107.1 FM. My name is Mark Benchab. All right, so what else is happening? Like I said, we're going to deal with relevant things. Relevant things. We're not going to talk about soup drinkers and the house slaves. We already know who they are. They have been exposed, mind you. We know who they are. I mean that we have forgotten. We know who they are. Now, let's get to this here. J.R. Crawford is going to, our operator said that J.R. is going to be on with us. Wayne Caesar is going to be on with us. We have lots of things we want to talk about. But look at this. According to the Village Voice News, and always go on Village Voice to support Village Voice. Share the link. Just share the link. Just share it. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Share the link. share the link. Now, this is what's happening now in the Guyana Press Association. Elections long overdue. And I hope that they will have elections in the Guyana Press Association very soon. Looks like that's what's going to happen, and something that I'm fully in support of. Get the elections over with. But look who wants to head back there as the president of the Guyana Press Association, Neil Marks. Neil Marks wants to head back there as president of the Guyana Press Association. Neil Marks. Are you kidding me? Neil Marks? He wants to grab the Guyana Press Association so that it could become a PPP tool. And once it becomes a PPP tool, nothing good, absolutely nothing good would come out of it. Absolutely nothing. Because Neil Marks is a propagandist for the PPP. That is what he is. That is what he has become. And so I hope members of the Guyana Press Association will go out on elections day, whenever the Guyana Press Association is having their elections, and vote overwhelmingly against Neil Marks. This is nothing personal against Neil Marks. Absolutely nothing. Nothing against him, right? Nothing. It is just that he is not fit and proper to become, because he was once the president of the Guyana Press Association. He did a horrible job. And so it is not going to be anything progressive if Neil Marks becomes, again, the president of the Guyana Press Association. So keep an eye on that. Jack Day already said that we don't like what's going on in the Guyana Press Association. This is a combination of same thing, two madmen, same thing. Jack Day, same thing. Mad as ever, corrupt as ever. That's him. Racist as ever. That's him. Don't be fooled because he grabbed a couple of them with the red t-shirts, red blouse, and red sweaters, and thinking that, and the red blazers, and so thinking that he likes you guys. He doesn't. He doesn't. And they will make a mess of the Guyana Press Association. A mess. And now, hey, why not? Let Nazima Raghubi goes back. Let her go back in there and give them hell. You can't trust Neil Marks. Who can trust? There will be no independence of the Guyana Press Association under a lackey of the PPP. And Neil Marks is a lackey of the PPP. And he will go back, if he were to be elected president of the Guyana Press Association, he will go back there with vengeance and an absolute PPP agenda. It must be stopped. No, Neil Marks. We haven't forgotten how partisan you were in your report when those two fancy vehicles were given to Irfan Ali by those folks at Mohammed's or whatever they call themselves. The people who are subject to law enforcement are on law enforcement agencies' radar in the United States, right? Okay, lots of so no Neil Marks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Neil Marks. Bye-bye. All right, so hey, if you're now joining us 17 minutes after 9 o'clock, my name is Mark Benchap, and welcome again. Welcome to Straight Up. In other news, you heard of this. Sir Mars murdered. The suspect has not been found, at least not till 9/17. We haven't been hearing anything from the Guyana Police Force on the matter, whether they have found the suspect and whether the suspect is still alive or not. We don't know. But Sir Mars is dead. Sir Mars, deputy principal of a secondary school there in Guyana. Sir Mars, an actor / comedian, and Sir Mars was just who he was. He never shy away from his personality. He never shy away. He never hid in the closet. He never hid in the closet. He's always out there. And so for his family members, his friends, his colleagues, again, on behalf of all of us, all of the 107.1 FM family, condolences to all of his relatives, friends, and colleagues. We will have some more, but we are monitoring the situation and whether the suspect is still alive. Whether the suspect, I repeat, whether the suspect is still alive. Or we might hear by tomorrow that the suspect decided to talk to Travis Chase or Gordon Mosley. We don't know as yet. You know how things usually happen. Right? All right, we have J.R. Crawford. We may be joined by Wayne Caesar as well, but for now we have J.R. Crawford. Before we get to JR again, hey, look at what is happening. Look at what is happening here. Bad man, a bad man, fool is a fool. You know, that's a reggae. I'm just showing you guys that I know a little reggae, right? But look at who is spending the night in Camp Street. God in heaven knows doing what? Seriously, this is not a show where we laugh at situation, but wasn't it this they're in Camp Street right now. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in Camp Street right now. Wasn't this the guy, what's his name, Demon, who had a lot, Ben Chop did this and them guys interfere with Ben Chop in jail. Hey, y'all think it's too sensitive, people by now they should know that those things like water ducks back for me, man. But look at karma. Look who getting thing in prison right now. I wonder what bacchanal going on in prison right now. What sort of bacchanal going on in prison right now? Oh la le, walla walla bing bang. That's what's probably happening right now. Y'all remember not so long ago, he cost me out, boy. These guys is pick up poor Ben Sharp, abuse out Ben Sharp when Ben Sharp exposed them, right? They abuse out. So, them boys, you understand? Them boys interfere with Ben Sharp in prison. Them boys, you understand? Well, no Ben Sharp turned to say, them boys tickling me in prison right now. You understand? You understand? Look, hey, you understand? Yeah, hey, this life is funny, yeah? This life is real funny.
Mark Benchcap, I could tell you straight up, all of y'all get skeleton in your closet. Because it's people like y'all make this country like this. Because y'all start off with a racial vibes.
Mr. Crawford, where are you currently? Oh, you're at home, right? You're safe. You're safe. You're safe. Let me say good evening to the guys at Luzaknan or Camp Street Prison. Good evening to all of them. I gotta keep my hairs on the ground for here, balling. Oh, walla walla bing bang. Good evening, sir. How are you? Life, huh?
Good evening. I'm okay so far.
Yeah. What's happening? Before we begin with, let me say thank you so much for coming on, even at the last minute. What's happening in Borbisma quarantine? You know, we like to ask what's happening before we move on.
Well, what I feel is quarantine is the entry point for a lot of foreign nationals illegally, and it's a disturbing trend that's going on here now, where people are coming over from Suriname into Guyana, and I think that those are the people who are going to get on to the voters list. And recently I saw 3 of them being held up in the U.S., where it's presumed that they were Guyanese nationals when indeed they were not. So that's the disturbing trend now. And like I've said months ago, Berbice has supplanted Region 4 when it comes to corruption and all the funny stuff that's going on. Everybody is on the gravy train for the wrong reasons.
You mean there's surpassed Region 4 in terms of corruption? Because I've heard of stories where some of them are promising people $8,000 to vote, and all these manner of things. The corruption in New Amsterdam by a couple of them who suddenly jumped over and wearing red T-shirt and
Yeah,
all
well,
manner of things.
those individuals are getting the street thugs to become party card holders, and they're getting some monetary reward for doing that. Because the very thugs are saying that when the coalition was in office, their survival was tough because they couldn't be doing, their drugs and whatever. But under this administration is okay. Words are on the street. Certain people hands are tied. They can't do certain things that their job requires them to do. There are many folks who have to be silent in some point. There are folks now who are working with the government. If they're seen talking to me, it's a problem. They may lose their job.
The funny thing is, Crawford, is that we cannot live in a society where people have to hide and talk to each other. We just can't happen to live. We cannot be living in a society like that. Sorry. Unfortunately, that's what the PPPC is all about. We've got to have elections as quickly as possible to get rid of these wicked, demonic individuals in the PPP. Get them out of office.
That's my point, because I for one had hoped that we would see more pressure from the opposition, especially to the British High Commission, who recently got assigned to Guyana and come up with this foolishness that the list is clean. She has no right to disrespect the Guyanese populace by saying our voters list is okay to use. When in reality she should have been a fair-minded person and talk to both the opposition and the installed regime, as well as the little small parties.
I'm not sure when she got to Guyana, she did meet with both. She met with these.
No. They will.
With the clungs and
you're talking about photo op. I'm talking about serious issues.
And you are correct. And even when they met with the opposition, when she met in terms of her first week there, the opposition, all these things, the opposition may have told her, that they're uncomfortable with GCOM settings right now, the list and so forth. And if in fact they did say that to her and she came out to say that the list is okay, well, that is definitely an insult to all Guyanese people, when in fact we all know that the list is not okay.
Well, she did say the list is okay, but what I'm saying, I don't care if the opposition had met her in the first instance here. A political party is a public entity. There are certain things that has to be addressed in public. When people can't afford medical, when people can't afford food, they want to know how things are going to change for the better. You got somebody who come in here and right off the bat, they're going to come up and say that the list is okay. That person right there and then has gone into a partisan mentality. Is it because of lack of intelligence, or is it because somebody has slid some kind of money? If the previous British ambassador, hold on.
That is why
if the previous ambassador was complicit in wrongdoing, this other one come and instead of getting to understand what is going on, she made a clear statement saying the list is correct. Right there and then, she is actually taking food or soup from the previous ambassador because they have to brief their successor.
Yeah,
and in the meantime, Guyanese people are suffering.
Yeah, that's welcome. Let's welcome Mr. Caesar on with us this evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mark. Good evening to the listeners and viewers. Good evening, Mr. Crawford.
Good evening, sir.
All right, let's bacchanal now. Let's bacchanal in a sense. Let's get straight to what has happened recently. The picking up.
What we got preach on the man? Why we something like that? Sit down, sit down, fucking go. Yeah, one more down. Go fucking go do that. Fucking do that. Fine, see how this is, man? Yeah. Fine, like you jump into a wall.
Good. So you saw that there. Let's see this.
They gotta kill me, man. Why you don't know me? You gotta kill me. You know me, man. Okay. Ready for it. Nobody wanna know you. Stop me up when you got from my mind. That should pull out your soul. You take a lot of fucking start in your mind.
All right, let's start off with Mr. Wayne Caesar. Your take, sir.
Well, first and foremost, Mark, I saw the little kids there. That's very concerning that they have to witness, such a conflict. But that's where bad meets evil. Okay, bad meets evil. That's where bad clashes with evil. So, I mean, I thought the police officer handled himself pretty well. He was being double teamed there by two.
We call it double bank.
Yes, by two strapping young men. I thought he handled himself very, very well. And I'm surprised that one of those real bad men that was attacking the police officer, he can't even throw a proper punch, man. I don't know, man. People don't need to be scared. I don't know why people are scared, but the other officer, the ex-officer that came in, I am thankful that he was there, to assist the acting police officer who's currently on the force. I was glad that he was there to assist him, although I know that in the past he doesn't have such a stellar track record. But I would say that he was in the right place at the right time, because I don't know if he wasn't there, how far these two clowns would have went, because I call them clowns. Why you need to bank a man? Take him on one-on-one,
Mr. Crawford, your take on what we just saw there in that video, sir.
Mark, I've said this thing about 2 years ago when the PPP got installed. We are going to see this sort of behavior because it's a waterfall effect. If the government of the day is being disrespectful, the citizens will follow suit. And that is why in the last 25, 30 years, Guyana's morals has decayed because of the trend and the behavior of the ones who are entrusted with leadership of the country. And it's a sad situation, and we're going to see more of this as time goes on, because it's like a home. If the head of the household is being very disruptive or disrespectful, the kids are generally going to turn out that way. And we can't expect anything different from the citizens when the leaders who are being installed are blatantly being disrespectful and evil. So it's an unfortunate situation. Yes, some of the officers are very good people on the force, but their hands are tied, all because of the corruption and the buddyism that is going on in this country. And I said to you earlier, there are some officers who want to do the right thing, but they are forbidden from doing the right thing. And the people of this country need to start to wake up and say, look, voting race or racial behavior does not take us anywhere. It only makes us a laughing stock of the Caribbean. We need to change our demeanor and, demand better from the ones who are elected.
Absolutely. Well said, Mr. Crawford. We did hear, and let me acknowledge you guys. Let me acknowledge you guys, all of you, including the birds. Mr. Crawford has there. Good evening to
those words are on your mind, right?
Yeah. A lot of our listeners are happy. Sherwin is happy. Green, that is happy. The birds knocking. Nice. All right. So we saw that the police never issued any wanted bulletin for the culprits. No wanted bulletins or anything. And and one of them was actually arrested on the spot. The police knew the other individual, known as Demon, but they never issued any wanted bulletin. We were told this afternoon that he was caught. He was caught at the Ogle Airport. That's according to the police. He was caught at the Ogle Airport attempting to flee the country to Suriname. Now, if you know you commit such a crime, and it's there on video, everybody saw. No, oh gosh, you're going to be so brave to want to go to the airport to fly out of the country? I don't know the mindset of these individuals. Anyways, the entire nation, 99.9% of the people, except just a handful of individuals, might not be happy. But 99.9% of the people are happy that these two culprits are tonight in jail. Probably in the same hammock. God in heaven knows what is happening. But how satisfied are you, Mr. Caesar, that they have been caught and they have been remanded to prison until May 17th? But knowing Demon, he ain't going to want to be in jail until the 17th. His lawyer or lawyers will file what is called file for bail in the High Court. Watch and see. Watch the right tomorrow. Watch the right. But Mr. Caesar.
Well, Mark, I am pretty satisfied. I mean, it's two less cowboys they have to deal with here. They're going to be behind.
Don't disrespect cowboys, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, come on, JR, Mark, back in the old Western days, man, the guys.
They were cowboys. Cowboys
Yeah,
were intelligent. 1 second. Cowboys were intelligent. But continue.
Yeah, these guys are lawless. They're lawless, and they're in line with the government that we currently have. I mean, if our citizens are I hope that their memories are all intact, would remember the David Granger-led coalition. In that time that the coalition was in power, we weren't seeing these type of things. It's every week, every day, there is something, there's some calamity, there's some disaster in Guyana. Blood just continues to run in Guyana all the time. If it's not a vehicular accident, it's a shooting. Every day there's something under this government, man. You understand me? The people in the country, they're getting impatient. They're getting out of hand. Nobody have no respect for the rule of law. And where does that come from? It comes from the top. Anil Nandalal and these guys, they don't respect Jagdi on them. They have no respect for our constitution, no respect for the laws. So hence, these people feel like if they can behave the same way. And this guy, Demon, he's aligned with the PPP. So I would not be surprised to see him walk in today or tomorrow. And that'll be a crying shame. That should not be. The laws cannot just be for certain people. And it seems as if the laws are for the good citizens. If they get out of line in any way, even if you have to give them a vehicular ticket or whatever it is, you're going to penalize them. But these guys are just allowed to walk through and continue to terrorize people. This is not wrong, and it must stop.
It's got to stop indeed. Mr. Crawford?
Mark, I'm not surprised of the way things have turned out now in this country, because you've seen what the top has been doing. And when you align yourself with people of questionable character and behaviors, what would be the end result? You cannot have anything different. All of this, mind you, I would lay it at the feet of the Guyanese people, because I don't know how often I have to say it. We need to look ourselves in the mirror as individuals and say, are we better off than 30 years ago? We need to stop voting race. And I've watched from March 6, 2020 onwards, the behavior of some of our citizens is atrocious. They've been very ignorant, they're racist, and look where we have descended to. We were starting to go on the upswing back in 2015. Yes, we had a long way to go, but we were a hell of a lot better up until 2020 than where we are now. And it is only the citizens who can change this by doing the right thing and turning away from what is bad. Right now, we are having our certain support is like a bad marriage. You're constantly in danger, but you still want to stay with the individual. You don't want to press charges, so you're going to end up dead one of these days. And that is what happened to Guyanese people who support this current regime. Because before you jump on, I don't know what is so hard for whoever is in government to govern the country equally across the board and show respect to every single Guyanese, regardless of their race or their political affiliation. And that's the million dollar question. Why is it so hard that people have to be abused and discriminated because they do not align themselves with a particular political party? Why must people who support another party become soup drinkers just to survive?
Soup drinkers and house slaves, indeed. Mr. Caesar, your hands up. You wanted to say something, sir? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna tell GR the reason for that is when you have a guy who have his thumb on the country and he is racist and biased, so he's not interested in serving the entire country. He is interested in serving a certain faction. And then the other faction of the country, he marginalizes and discriminates against. It's obvious. Barry Jagdeo don't have any love for Afro-Guyanese. This is not today's story. And Irfan Ali and Anil Nandalal, you could line all of them up. Every Afro-Guyanese that's aligned with the PPP is being used for something. They are all being used for something. And yes, go ahead.
When, if I may, look, I'm going to tell it straight like it is. The only reason the PPP are they're in power is because of the house slave black people, the ones that pick up ammunition and weapons against anybody who is against the PPP wrongdoers. That's the only reason. If the black people were to wake up and say, you know what, I wouldn't be used anymore, the PPP will be out of office in 24 hours. And you look back and see, if you have 20 assassins for the PPP, 19 would be black men. Because they're good, they love this Uncle Tom label. They love this house nigger behavior. You understand? They love this kitchen slave mentality labels because they don't want to be progressive. They're very, very big and bad in company. And when you catch them in single-handedly, they're wimps.
Absolutely.
Now you see so many of them turning, into
Wimps indeed. We are on the radio. Wimps indeed. 41 minutes after 9 o'clock, J.R. Crawford with us, Caesar with us. Before we get to that, let me say, we're watching the ride indeed. You saw how the police had absolutely no problem, none whatsoever, arresting and jailing someone who is oftentimes professed to be one of them, meaning a PPP. He arrested, jailed, again, arrested and remanded to prison. But yet we haven't heard anything about this guy. Azruddin Mohammed, said to be the suspect of a murder probe to the murder of Fagundes. No arrest at all. He's running around freely, handing out handouts to police. His security guy still free. All these things. A police officer is living in fear because he doesn't know when they're going to move in to assassinate him. All of these things, we are seeing it. We saw this video here. Well, of course, a photograph of this security guy for Jumbo Jet Security, a company that is close to Barra Jagdev and Irfan and the PPP, and no arrest at all. None whatsoever. We heard of a situation where some criminals walked into the Providence police station, threatened police officers, threatened other individuals, and nothing, absolutely nothing came out of those sort of things. And recently, we saw a security guard attached to Sarwan's father security firm. Everybody gets security company now. Everybody. Look at this little tug, this little um, half a cup of coffee tug. Look at him. A little argument, and he pulls out his gun. Probably the only gun he can pull out from his pants. He pulls out his gun, threatening an individual in front of the individual's family. Have we heard anything? Have we heard any arrest and so forth of this goon? No, we haven't. But look at these guys. Look at all the things that they have done for the PPP. All manner of things, and their PPP, and their this, and their that. And look what the PPP has done to them. I hope people who are like these guys can see that different strokes for different folks, different treatment, and that when they may think that the PPP loves them. Look at how the PPP treats them. Look at it. Take a look. The PPP
Mark,
doesn't give a damn about these guys, because at the end of the day, the PPP know that they can replace them. Boom.
they are commodities, my brother. They're not in the human category. They're looked at as commodities. Mark, you see, you have to ask yourself a question. How did slavery flourish? And then you would understand the mentality of some. I have never read any history books where it was said that Africans was chased down into the forest by Caucasian folks. What I've known is that tribes would capture other tribes and exchange them for beads and cloth. So there lies the problem. It's an age-old, it's been there from creation, and that's going to continue. I don't know if it's a curse or is stupidity. I don't know why they would do that.
Just don't know. Chase them down for, what did you say, beans?
Beads.
Beads?
Yes.
Oh, well,
And
these
colored
guys are
cloths.
in prison. These guys are in prison right now. People may chase them down for beads too. You never know.
The 5 beads?
Good evening, guys. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchop. We are rocking and rolling this evening. We have lots of other things to talk about, indeed. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this here? Government stealing the money, thieving the money, ripping off guys, $41.6 billion. We know what's going to happen there, guys. Caesar, you're the accountant. Talk to us, please, sir.
Well, Mark, I don't see the reason for them having to go into the fund so often for money. I feel like if the initial withdrawal, I don't know what type of feasibility study they do for wherever it is that they're allocating these monies. I feel like if they need to provide the public with line items as to where these monies are being allocated. We're just hearing about large sums of money being withdrawn from the fund, and we're not seeing where the money is being allocated. It's just, this government is totally lacking transparency. I am lost because I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, where is this money going? What can we say is being done with this money? Because it's definitely not going to the citizens because they're living in poverty. So I'm not understanding. I'm really not understanding. And until the Guyanese people really stand up and put this government in check, they're going to just keep withdrawing and withdrawing, Mark. And the more they withdraw,
They're not withdrawing. They are thieving the money. You know where it's going to go? They're going to announce some couple $1 billion to the sugar workers. They're going to announce some stuff for the subsidies for the rice industry. And then they're going to start giving out vouchers, and they're going to use it as payment to buy votes to the local government elections. They already have some of their soup drinkers, some of their house slaves in hand just to do that. That is where the money's going. Go ahead, Caesar.
Mark, I wanna really, really warn the Guyanese people about this. Per capita, I said it over and over again. You guys are some of the richest people in this world. Don't let someone throw some crumbs at your feet and you go for it and you vote for this government again. This government must never ever see office again, man.
Guyana doesn't have a government. Guyana has
installed regime.
Not just that, Guyana has what is called a gang, a bunch of gang members who are running the country right now. There's no government in Guyana. Mr. Crawford, we want to move on to something else. I want our folks to take a look at this. Police in action. Police in action, gentlemen. Take a look at this.
Okay, we're here. The police is at our premises. They say they got a call saying that we have drugs on our premises. So one of the officers is in front there checking out. Someone called and made that report that the Aziz family have drugs on their premises.
Police, take a look at the police, the Aziz family. They're searching.
Step aside.
No search warrant, nothing. Looking for drugs. Take a look at the police. Yep, the police. No gloves, no torchlight, no nothing.
You guys could share the live. So the person who made the report
looking for
could
drugs.
see live.
He's looking for drugs. Take a look at the police. No arrest. No search warrant. Nothing. Policeman means business. Nothing to indicate that he's a police. Nothing. Guyana, huh?
Come on, guys. Share the live. Share the live. The officers here searching the premises. Someone called, say we have drugs on the premises.
I see the police. No badge, no nothing.
Yeah, that one around the front. Yeah.
Or wherever. Look when he's about to go up the stairs. Okay. Now, this is the favorite part. I love this part.
No, don't take off your boots. Just knock on the sun. Give yourself all the walk.
Now, they told him, look, he been down there.
Share the life, share the life.
They told him, don't take off his shoes. Guyana is a weird place. Let him take his shoes off, man. He doesn't have an arrest warrant. Let him take his goddamn shoes off. Even though the people were nice enough to say, no, don't take off your shoes. Look what he did. This is supposed to be a policeman. Look what he did. They probably should have told him, leave his gun outside too. Let's take another look.
So, whoever did the report could have a look and see what's going on.
Police taking his shoes off. Very polite. Look, he wants the mom to go in front.
Mommy. No. Mm-hmm.
Crawford, you take a bite of that first, man.
Mark, again, it comes back to the citizen. We all know the law states that you have to have a search warrant if you're going to go into someone's home. And you have to properly identify yourself before you can conduct anything after you've displayed the search warrant. So what is happening in this country, because the citizens are not taking ownership for their rights to be respected, they are left to deal. Some of us are left to deal with this bullyism behavior because, again, we are not standing up for what is right. We are not demanding that the laws be across the board. And like I said, what is happening in this country or what has transpired over the years is because the citizens, they're too lazy to stand up for their own benefit. They don't want to speak out. They always worry about fear. If the masses come together, those who want to threaten you will never be successful. But we just don't want to stand up for our rights. We just want everything to be gift wrapped and given to us, and that is where we are having a problem. The policeman, that is a normal behavior. They run in and they argue. I've seen it happen already, and where I've told police, you need to go back and get whatever you need to get, or step outside. That's about it.
Absolutely. Well said. Mr. Caesar, your take on what you just saw there?
Mark, just a continuation of the PPPC continuing to harass and persecute people. For you to get a call saying that there's drugs on a premises, you should come, as Mr. Crawford said, prepared with a warrant and everything. But it comes back to the citizens again. You stop them, sir. Do you have a warrant? No, I don't. We know the law. You need a warrant. Go and get one and come back. We are right here. We're not going anywhere. And it's funny how some people get amnesia, because before the coalition took power, when I look at the economy, it was a flat out drug economy. It was a cocaine economy. Okay, and these same guys who sending people to search other people's homes were the people who was dealing with this stuff. So I don't know who they think they're trying to fool. And if this video is going to get to the ambassadors and they're going to show them, oh, look what's going on, there's absolutely nothing going on there. They didn't find anything. They need to go and check their homes for drugs. They know fully and well what I'm talking about.
Mr. Caesar, and Crawford, and also our listeners, that police can enter anybody's premises without a search warrant. There are several reasons that they can. One is they have to be in hot pursuit, or they gotta have sufficient probable cause in order to do that. In this situation, there was none. There wasn't any probable cause or justifiable probable cause, or were they in hot pursuit? For someone to simply call to say that Aziz has drugs by their house, according to what we just heard there, is not sufficient reason for a police to go and walk into or onto the people's premises and search without a warrant. It is wrong. And the family, the family members, the Aziz, had every legal right to deny them access. They should never have cooperated with the police in allowing them to go inside the house. And on top of that, to tell him don't take off his shoes. If he wants to take his shoes off, let him take his shoes off. He wants to put his gun down if he had one, let him put it down. If he wants to take his pants off, let him take his pants off. Because this policeman is dotish. And now there is no indication that he's a policeman. So far, I'm not seeing anything that would suggest or indicate that he is a policeman. Let's continue to hear this tape before we get back into something else. And mind you, they wouldn't go into the real drug lords' houses, They wouldn't do that. But they can go in these ordinary citizens' house and hear that. They wouldn't go.
Come on, I need people to share the live.
They wouldn't go where people
just don't look, share the live.
A bundle of molly popping pills and all these things and raid them. They're not going to do that. Look at these people's house they're walking through. He looking for drugs. I don't know who's the camera person, but
so we on the back patio.
Notice the Aziz, When you
Hello?
hear the name the Aziz right away, you look for Aziz, but then you end up
I
that they're actually Aziz,
don't know.
if you know what I mean. Let's see the police. Let's see the
Nice
police.
one, the inspector said somebody called and say that there's drugs on the premises. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but seriously, this is what you gotta deal with. Imagine you can't buy or you can't achieve nothing in life. If you buy or achieve anything, it's drugs. The real people that were doing the drugs, they ain't going to hunt them up. Correct. I ain't got to tell you, don't worry. No, me and mommy. Uh-huh. Guys, I'm telling you, people working hard to achieve what they want in life. Borrow loan, work, pay loan, and you tell me people gonna say what? Drugs on premises? When other people joking life, people sweating in for what they want and joking life out for what? Drugs, money. They are gonna hunt them up. Hello? What's the inspector name? Madre. Madre is the inspector name. Huh? Me hear you? No, he and some officers, but the officers downstairs. And we have what's the police name downstairs?
Let's see the let's see the police downstairs.
What you got switch here, Thornton? Just by your right.
Fat by downstairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
What is it?
Folks, this is what happened in Guyana today. I think that it was today.
I want people to share this live. Let us see what's going on, because the people that were supposed to be ransacking and hunting up, it don't happen.
Just walking through.
I want people to share the live.
Invading the people's privacy.
Right now, I got left off why doing barbecue to come up here for this. Will never happen.
Angel should have been under the bed.
They should have got the whole squad up here and not downstairs tumbling up these things to see what's going on.
Angel should have been underneath the bed and just grab that guy who says that.
This is one of the beautiful officers.
Look at you guys are seeing firsthand what's happening, right?
Wait, remove yourself from there. Just throw the basket and then
Look at what's happening.
This is nonsense.
Looking for drugs.
My point is, the real people that were supposed to there. I ain't speaking to the yeah, but the whole force attacking to what I'm supposed to be ransacking a fucking.
You know, the woman is angry.
Me not cursing nobody here. I just cursing the whole situation here because people that are what going on. And why saying everybody here sweat.
You are in your house, lady. You're free to do what they are. It's called an illegal search. That is what it is. An illegal search.
Getting a sweat for what I got it. Aye. What you see going on? Just what you see going on the live. Somebody called Anna Regina police station and said there's drugs on the premises. So the officers them here searching for the drugs.
Yes, this is Essequibo. It is Essequibo indeed.
You seeing the live there?
Essequibo, little kids
Yeah,
here.
on Facebook. I don't know if you could see the live. This is so ridiculous. Honestly, really ridiculous. Because like you can't achieve nothing in life. You gotta be one way. You can't achieve nothing in life. You gotta be one way. I hope karma deal with a person whosoever do this. I hope karma deal with them and deal with them 100 times more.
And just to have you know that he's actually a policeman. He's
Yeah.
actually a policeman.
Oh God, run down for the Mickey. Tell one to bring me the door key. I give you. What? Slide from so if you want.
He's actually
Slide.
a policeman
Right
stationed there in Essequibo.
The door key, send the door key.
He's looking. Look,
You
raise up.
see what you gotta do with people now?
Watch officer. Watch. We got the wall divider there.
I tell
Just
you,
slide back.
don't
And the-
entertain people in your place. You see what's going on?
And the people telling him where
Don't
to
entertain
start,
people
what
in
to
your
do,
place.
and what not to do, and
Only
you know.
entertain drug lords, don't come at night.
Never mind.
Drug side only-
Never mind. Never mind. You don't have to be somebody who is a drug lord. Don't entertain nobody. Reach them outside now.
You guys shouldn't have entertained the cop them in the house. I mean, this is what you call an illegal search. Had no right to open your room or nothing. He's probably just there wanting to see what's going on, and God in heaven knows who they will send after. Look at what they're doing. Well, this is what happens when the PPP is in
Why do you
office.
think you turn in a chicken now?
This is what they do to folks like the Aziz, right?
No, not just one police came. There are some officers downstairs.
We need
And
to
it's
see
more
that.
than bullshit.
You know, we need to see the other officers there. We need to see what they look like. You know, that's actually a policeman. It is a
They
policeman.
should have came with a whole squad team, like 5-6 vehicles.
Make sure you don't go check. Now, when you go down to that,
And he's actually a constable, you know.
All over. They have to search
Constable.
all over. We
He's
don't deal
actually-
with drugs. We don't have nothing like drugs. Imagine my 6-year-old very much confused right now. She's very much confused.
This is what they do to
Everything, they tumble
individuals.
out everything got to pack back.
But make, I can't blame you.
Somebody on the phone? Oh,
Because yeah, job, yeah. You understand?
Now, that's not their job. Their job is not to commit illegality. And this is what is called an illegal search. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
okay. You're gonna back to the mark. I hope the person that made the report saw the whole escorting that I did. The officer didn't find anything. Okay.
Nicholas, who got lock my door, lock back my door, bring the key.
I try to knock the back door.
Yeah, it was locked. It's out of the going when your father gets the phone. Tell you lock this back door and bring the key in front.
door, Tom. Bring the key in front.
Watch, you see, after watch, you see the sense, huh?
Again, that's a constable out there in
But this is
Regina.
this is not the first time somebody write Anna Regina police station telling the police station that my father have drugs on his bus. Every time he gonna sell, he fetching drugs on the bus. So this is not the first time. But what I'm saying, it is very ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't achieve nothing in this life.
I used to just send paper, this yard used to be a tally chair here. So I tell my husband, somebody do this thing first before you do this.
Imagine people are on their foot 24/7 just to achieve what they're achieving, working night and day.
All right, you saw that there for yourselves. What has happened? That guy there, the policeman, is actually a constable. He's attached to Anna Regina Police Station. He's Constable Anuj. Constable Anuj. That's who he is. Conducted an illegal search. He's attached to CID office there at the Anna Regina Police Station. Constable Anuj. Mr. Crawford, as we prepare to wrap up, sir. Disgraceful, huh? Your take.
Mark, going into someone's home on a frivolous call, it's not acceptable. First off, if somebody is going to call the police, that person have to have a proper credibility for them to act. You need to get documentation to go into someone's home because you're opening up yourself in a democratic society for legalities to follow. And, that's not how the force is supposed to operate. But this shows that the police force has no respect for the citizens. And many of those police forget that when they take off their uniform, they're just a normal citizen.
Look, the rest of them are out there. Constable Anuj.
Because the reason why the others are out there is because they know that they have no business being there.
Yep, Constable Anuj. And we are seeing that inspector there as well. All of these things. Wayne, what's going on? Your take, sir.
Yeah. Mark, you see, I overheard the woman on the video saying
she's very frustrated. Very frustrated.
I overheard her saying you can't achieve anything in this life. To her, I say you can. But the expectation in Guyana is that once you see someone, their place look good, it looks well organized, and they're not aligned with the PPP cabal, then they're doing something illegal. That's exactly what's happening here, because I'm sure if you look to see where these people would have voted, they didn't vote PPP. I am sure. I'm like,
the funny thing, and you're correct, Mr. Caesar. The funny thing is that these people are known. They're not known drug dealers in Essequibo. They sell food, they cook food and sell. They're hard workers. Look at those girls, strapping and hard workers, that is. You could imagine the amount of food that they got to cook and go out there and sell and all these manner of things. But what she was saying is that as soon as you get up in life, some people who are not as hardworking as they are, all manner of description. Oh, it's got to be drugs. Oh, it's got to be this. The woman, the entire family sell food. Cook up, pigtail, sauce, chana, all things, puri. That's what they do. Continue, Mr. Caesar. Sorry, I just had to let you know.
No, Mark, that's fine. And looking at how they ransacked and tumble up, turn out this, turn over that, and went right through the people's house. Look, we have oil wealth now, man. Let's get some drug sniffing dogs, man. And they can just
drug sniffing dogs. I'm sure if they get the drug sniffing dogs, some of those drug sniffing dogs wouldn't leave the police compound. Some of those drug sniffing dogs wouldn't leave Freedom House. They wouldn't leave the office of the president. They wouldn't leave certain parts, certain section of parliament when those MPs go in there, those PPP MPs. They wouldn't leave that. Mr. Crawford.
Mark.
By the way, sorry about that. Yeah, I paused it here to let you guys know that this is Inspector Madre. Inspector Madre. I wonder if it's them Madre from Arlen's village. This is Inspector Madre.
No, it's not them from. It's not from there.
Oh,
no, but it's a sad thing to see, and I recall a couple of years ago where my brother was saying that this state is turning into a police state. And if the citizens do not act, they are going to regret it. And sad to say, we're seeing Guyana head to that where the citizens are treated like second class citizens. And you know, this people Guyanese got to be careful. This is not a black or Indian issue. This is a Guyanese issue where, as long you're not a buddy to the people that are in charge, you are not exempt from any harassment or any suffering. And this is where, it's easy to get the country back in line. Is once the two main ethnic group come together and start to demand goods and services and respect, we are not going to see police running or doing these things, or ministers, abusing state fund. And you alluded to the $41.6 billion. Well, the PP has a right to do what they're doing, because all those folks that were burning stuff and cursing people and calling them niggers and hungry belly and white mouth, you know, let them enjoy, seeing that the monies from their country is being gobbled up by a selective few, and they are not getting any benefit. Their children they're not getting any benefits. The hospitals are not getting any better. Like New Hampshire Hospital, I mean, it's a total mess. We are seeing private hospitals being built. Who is going to be able to go in there? The rich folks. And the public hospitals are not being attended to. And who got to go there? The poor people.
Absolutely.
So, let them continue to be divided and being racist and being ignorant, and they're all going to stay at home and die right there.
Mr. Crawford, we're looking at the time. Point well taken. This Inspector Madre, I don't know, but folks out in the Essequibo would know not so long ago there was a murder, and it was alleged that this Inspector Madre murdered a gentleman by the name of Patrick George, allegedly, mind you, allegedly. I just thought that now that I look at the face, and Patrick George was actually murdered, allegedly by this Inspector Madre. Again, I want to say allegedly by this Inspector Madre, who lives just not so far away from the man who was murdered, Patrick George. Short, small world. That's what they say, right? Small world. And then you did say that in Essequibo, everybody knows who are the drug dealers. Everyone knows who's dealing with drugs in Essequibo. They could go on the mountaintop right now and sing a song, and sing whatever song. Polka, Kanaka, drum, Guinea boy. Everybody knows who's into drugs in Essequibo. Polka, Kanaka, drum, Guinea bird, and danso miraja. Everybody knows, mind you, including the PPP, right? Mr. Caesar, your closing remarks, please, sir.
Yes. So Mark, I would say in closing, I would say to the Guyanese people, continue to be vigilant, get involved, don't be afraid. You have a right to speak out, don't be quiet. We have a constitution, follow the constitution. Once you're in line with our constitution, I know the PPP doesn't respect the constitution, but stay in line, do what you have to do. Trust me, the time for this regime is very, very limited. And I must say this, the PPP is not acting alone, man. All right, they're not acting alone. They're being supported by the imperialists out there. I will not call names, but they know themselves.
Jesus, call the names.
And to come into one's country and rip away their resources and have a government that is not allowing any of that revenue to trickle down that pyramid to the people of the country, it's wicked. It is very, very wicked. And it will be stopped, because at the next election, we will make sure that the votes of the Guyanese people actually counts. I could care less which ambassador comes in and said this list is good and that list is good. You know what? To be honest with you, and Market, I'm not going to say anything derogatory on the radio, but I am sick and tired of the ambassadors there. They are very biased. They have no respect for the Guyanese people. You all should be apologizing to the Guyanese people for installing this government. Look how they are treated. They're persecuted in their own country. They're treated like second-class citizens in their own country. They're living in poverty in a land that they have lived in for decades. And now that land is producing, they are not reaping the benefits. But we are not going to continue to sit here and watch people just walk all over us, damage the fabric of our country. We are going to stand up. We are going to stand up. And to the opposition, please keep the pressure on GCOM. We need a new list. We need a new list. Whether it's biometrics we're going to use or what we're going to use. And Miss Claudette Singh, don't worry. We got you. Don't worry. That's my closing remarks, Mark.
I just want to say that in terms of protest and forcing her to resign, that's in essence what Mr. Caesar is saying when he says, we got you. Thank you so much. That there is a God.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Time is up, Mark.
Thank you.
Time is up.
Thank you. Mr. Crawford, briefly, your closing remarks, sir.
Mark, you saw the article in Canada where the Canadian lawmakers were expelling a Chinese diplomat for interfering with their internal affairs. Right? Our people need to come out and speak out against every single international person who is here on a diplomatic mission that are colluding with people who are destroying our country's economy and our resources and our children's future. We cannot sit back and allow politicians to be buddying up with imperialists, the ABCE and you, and 90% of our people are suffering. If we were a country that had no resources, we could have understand that, hey, we don't have anything there to make us better, and we have to, make do with what we have. But per capita, we are on par to be the richest nation. But at the same time as being the richest nation per capita, we are the most ignorant in the Western Hemisphere. As to sit back and allow a measly 10% to pilfer the resources of this country to support a political party to bring forward bills that are going to fleece us in celebrity times. As this oil bill says, I can redraw. All I have to tell you how much I redraw, and that's it. I do not have to tell you what I'm doing with it. Now, what happens with our benefit as a nation? Now, you alluded to the monies going to rice farmers and cash crop farmers, and Gaisuku is going to need another bailout. You know how the supplementary budget system works with the PPP. And you will never hear any of those organizations speaking out of the wrongdoing. Not a single word from any international organization or the installed regime of how or what should be done to reduce the rising cost of living, which has gone 4 times in the last 3 years. And the Guyanese people, they can cry and complain in private, but they're not willing to join hands with their neighbors, regardless if they're PNC or whatever it is. Now, Glenn Lal is doing that march to bring an awareness on the oil, the losses that we're incurring on the oil, and also the insurance that is a must. Here, Jagdir is telling the nation, his people, that there is no indefinite insurance. Well, if you Google it, it will show you exactly what it means. There is such a thing as an indefinite insurance. When you have massive projects that could harm the environment, there are insurance to guard against such. Anything with natural resource should have an unlimited insurance because mining on land or in the sea. So I don't know where he gets that idea that there isn't such a thing as an indefinite insurance. If there's an oil spill, God forbid, Trinidad, Barbados, and the Lesser Antilles will be drastically affected.
Yeah.
What happens when those countries decide to put a claim towards us? Where are we going to find monies? Exxon has already posted an above profit than what was projected.
We're looking at the time, Mr.
While they're
Crawford.
posting
Yeah.
an above profit, Guyanese are seeing hell in the grocery stores. Mothers are forced to do prostitution and private spaces to make ends meet. Citizens are not being educated. They're remain as laborers. Are we breeding our own slaves, as
You
to
know,
say, because we can't afford to, give proper education. We can't afford to have battered
we will
homes.
definitely your closing remarks, sir. We're looking at the time. You really have to go. 30 seconds more, please. Go ahead.
We can't afford to have homes for battered women. We're seeing female being brutalized and murdered on a weekly basis. Nobody is coming out. Nobody is talking about it. All these foreign dignitaries. We have CARICOM base here, and nobody is coming up with things to protect our females from the onslaught that they're receiving.
All
And
right.
then you tell me we have a democracy here?
We got to go. We'll leave on that. Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford, for your closing remarks. And thank you so much, Mr. Caesar, as well. This officer, his name is Madre, Inspector Madre, said to be a PPP operative out there in the Essequibo, allegedly terrorizing people in the Essequibo there. Madre, Inspector Madre, accused, mind you, accused of murdering someone by the name of Patrick George. And also, to the Aziz family, we sympathize with what happened there with you guys. And also condolences to the passing of the stepfather of the Aziz, Mr. Taylor, also known as Pigman, who died not so long ago. Pigman died. And those of you who are familiar with Pigman, he's originally from Buxton. So suddenly that they are targeting these folks there, the Aziz family. Mr. Crawford, thank you as always for your time. Mr. Caesar, thank you also for your time. And as you know, we thank all of our listeners as well. We really appreciate you guys, all of our listeners, whether they're in Guyana, wherever they are. And so this evening we want to leave with not a mic drop. They usually say, when you say something in awe, they just say the mic drop. Tonight, and because remember this guy, Demon, remember him and all manner of things that Mark Benchap and they interfered with Mark and all manner. Look, it's like watching ducks back. These things don't bother me. But look at who is in jail tonight. Guess what he's dropping in jail tonight? We've got to be straight up. Guess what Demon is dropping in jail tonight? Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mark Benchap. Love all of you. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Caesar. Thank you, Mr. Crawford.
Good night.
Good night.
everyone.
Good night.
So drop. All right. We will be back tomorrow, same place, same time. If there's anything, I do believe that there's a protest out there. In front of, is it Tuesday? They have that protest in front of the Guyana Elections Commission. Go out there, guys. Go out and support that protest. If I believe it is tomorrow. Rhonda Lane, good evening to you. Hey, you can't forget Rhonda Lane, right? We've got enough respect to Rhonda Lane. Absolutely. Enough respect to Rhonda Lane. And so somebody said that something about drugs and all these sort of things, and they know who the drug dealers are out there in the Essequibo. All over. People know every single thing. We'll leave you with this song. and read between the lines, mind you. God bless you. Have a good night. Guyana, under the PPP, that is why you guys got to go out and vote for the local government elections. You have to go out and vote. Stop the singing, talking, and so forth. Go out and vote. Vote against the PPP regime. Vote against them. This song is dedicated to, and you'll know who are the real drug dealers and drug lords in Guyana.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.